That's a freaking giant one. She had a lot of friends with her.
Give me 5 of those. Lord have mercy. Bass God.
Lake Murray is a really good lake. There's a ton of bass in here, all largemouth.
Oh, they fight hard here too.
Oh my God, they are loaded on this point, buddy. Let me just tell you right now.
There was a score up there. Look at them all. Oh my gosh. Oh, there's a ton of them.
Smash that skimmer, nothing but bass. 5-pounder, dude, that's awesome.
Deep dive brought me to this point. I mean, I have 18, 19 pounds today.
Somebody in this tournament's really gonna crack the code.
All right, here we go. It's about the halfway season of the Elite Series 2026. Lake Murray, South Carolina. Boy, it's cold this morning. We drove about 16 hours from Fort Worth yesterday. Got up real early this morning. This is a blueback herring lake, and to put it into words, it's kind of hard to explain a blueback herring lake to the guy in Florida or to the guy in California or the guy in New York who's never been to these places. Best way I could put it is these largemouth, they act so different on these lakes. And if you pull up to a point, like a main lake point on a regular lake, and there's a dock on it and a real ugly looking flat point, these fish prefer that ugly looking flat point. They're not gonna post up underneath that dock waiting for bluegill. They're really gonna chase these blueback shad around on these open flat points. So getting out here early is absolutely key. Looking for that herring spawn bite. So you'll see them spraying bait all over the place, but getting out early this morning, and over the next couple days we're going to have really light wind. So what little wind there is during this practice period, 3-day practice period, we're going to chase because it just offers us bass concealment, and they'll chase those herring all over those very, very shallow 1 to 3 foot points. So I'm going to look at my map here. I looked last night and I picked out a bunch of spots on the northwest side of the lake because we kind of have a southeast wind today. So as I look at the wave impacts map this morning, the wind's still coming out of the north, so we're going to start on this south end, and then we're going to make our way over to that northeast end of the lake. So every little clue that you could possibly find will help you find these kind of schooling fish in this real shallow water. So water clarity map really isn't going to play this week because this whole lake is pretty much clear. As I look at the water clarity map here, there's one little area of the lake that's just a little bit more stained than the rest, and that's up here in that upper third of the lake. That's where it went down last year, but as you guys know, from year to year the lakes change. So we're going to check some of this stained water a little bit later today, but we're going to stay down on the south end where the bigger fish live historically on this lake, and we're just going to run as many flat, ugly looking points as possible. We're going to completely stay away from the docks and fish wide open points. This should be a fun tournament. I just rolled up my first spot and just running the lake here this morning. Wow, the lake level is low. I've been here over the last 5 years. This will be my 3rd or 4th time here. Water's real low, so looking at the lake level, we are 5 3/4 feet low, almost 6 feet low. So that changes everything. The last couple years I've been here, it's been full pool, so -5 and 5.75 feet. I mean, the fish aren't gonna be in the exact same places. Obviously, that's dry land, especially when they're 1 foot to 3 feet deep. So lake level, looking at that's going to be a big deal as well this week. And also too, right in front of me, full moon. Whenever there's a full moon, that means things are spawning. Both the largemouth, we're here in May, so there's still going to be some largemouth spawning a little bit deeper. We'll keep an eye on that. But also that herring spawn around that full moon, all good stuff. Let's start on these flat points here and just throw some top water. Fished a lot of spots in a short amount of time this morning. I have a high skies and a calm day, so early in the morning it's gonna be huge. Just about to say, had any follows. I did the fluke thing, I did the top water thing, nothing. I threw my swim bait out there and I saw a couple followers, and then finally one squashed it. That's awesome, dude. I know a lot of guys aren't throwing that. 5-inch swimmer, we've been catching them all year on it. It's a nice fish. I mean, dude, they smoked it. I'm gonna be calling Bass Mafia. I'm gonna need to order a bunch of these.
Oh, dude, there's nothing better than that bite, dude. Smoked it. About Lake Murray, South Carolina, I think Bass rated it like the #2 or #3 best lake in the country. And like, there's a lot of outdoorsmen in the Carolinas, we know that, but this lake especially, oh my gosh, does it get hammered. And they've seen a million flukes, they've seen a million, you know, pencil poppers, and they don't see a lot of swim baits, dude. So to catch one right off the bat, the 5-inch swimmer, that's huge. And one thing I noticed too is a lot more grass this year. Water's 5.5 feet low. There's a lot more grass, so there's more weedless type baits are gonna be huge. And this 5-inch blackback shad swim bait with a belly weighted hook goes through that grass perfectly, man. Looks just like a herring. Wow, it's been an hour and 10 minutes. We haven't seen a single busting fish. I don't know if it's the weather or things happened earlier this year, but keep running. Last year I pulled up to this point, I look in the water, and like as far as you can see, just nothing but bass just moving. Crazy. That was nasty, bro. Look at the size of that fish. Wow. 5-pounder. I was just saying, I pulled up to this point last year and it was real tight and real shallow. The water was higher, obviously. Nothing but bass. I panned out over there and there was like 8 of them right off the end of this point. 5-pounder, dude, that's awesome. All right, so we're looking for signs, obviously, here in practice. I mean, that fish is well spawned out. It looks like it spawned, you know, a month ago. And that's a freaking giant one. She had a lot of friends with her. Definitely deeper this year. I mean, that was out in like 12 feet of water. And the other thing too is like herring spawn, herring spawn, herring spawn. If you throw the opposite type of bait, like a big jig like that, you get these fish to bite. That's a beauty, man. What a gorgeous fish, dude. Oh, they fight hard here too. So after catching that one at 7:24 in the morning, so we've got a light breeze and we are on this spot right here. So the wind's actually blowing over us. There's a light ripple. And a little bit later today, the wind will be blowing right up on that point. So in theory, with little to no wind, they're gonna be out a little deeper. Once that wind switches from the south at about 12 to 1 o'clock, the wind will be blowing up and we'll fish just a little bit tighter. Yeah, that's fun, dude. I noticed that on this lake last year where the stripers school out deep, the bass were like right there next to them, but shallower. Gosh. Stripers are fun on day 1 of practice, but come day 2, 3, and start of the tournament, just wasting time. Oh, tanker, striper. Smash that swimmer. Yeah, that's fun. Torpedo. Noticing these fish are a lot deeper than what I'm used to fishing here. Normally it's 1 to 3 feet of water. Noticing a lot in that 10 to 12. I caught that 5-pounder in 10 to 12, but they're real spotty. So I'm gonna rig up a spoon, flutter spoon. at them, dude. Look at all of them. Look at all of them. Look at all of them. Dude. Dozens. Look, oh my god, look at the size of those ones. Wow. So, I mean, that's just a cooler, but there's, I mean, there were probably 18 to 20. I can still see them. Wow. Okay, we've been ripping around the lake. That last little spot, man, there were 12 to 15 3 to 4 pounders, and they're so hard to get to bite when they're not, you know, chasing a single blueback herring or a school of blueback herring. So right now, I'm just looking at the wind because, dude, just a little bit helps. And that last spot was flat calm, and they could see my line, they could see my hooks, my baits, all that stuff. So right now, the wind is, I mean, absolutely dead. And over the next couple hours, it's still dead. It won't really pick up. I mean, it's going to be calm the rest of the day. So what little wind we do have, I'm going to try to target. It's kind of blowing in here. There's a nice point here. Yeah, we're still looking for active fish. I know I could slow down and do the fry garter and deep bed fish thing, but right now I just want to see as much as possible. And that last spot showed me with my eyeballs what lives in that much water. So yeah, I could take advantage of this, you know, bluebird skies and real calm conditions. But right now we're going to look for the little bit of wind. And also when we get tucked in behind this island, we'll just kind of use our eyes and see what's up there shallow. All right. So it's getting late in the day, and man, I was in a lull there for a few hours. I was running around. I've been going down this rabbit hole, this 8 to 12 feet of water thing. After catching that 5-pounder on a jig early this morning, I kind of did that all day, but I mean, that's just a 2 3/4 on a drop shot. I finally tied up a drop shot and started finessing them a bit, but it's getting late, so I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day. I mean, it wasn't a great day, but we definitely had clues. That one shallow point is what I'm gonna expand on tomorrow and the next day of practice. And I mean, just seeing all those big ones shallow and they're just chasing those herring real shallow. I know you could do this drop shot and jig thing and spoon thing out a little bit deeper, 8 to 12 feet. So as of right now, as you pull up to some of these main points, wind-blown main points, you know, towards the outside, you kind of just dob around and fish real slow. And then when you get right up on those real shallow points, you fish real fast. So it's kind of a 1-2 punch. We're gonna keep our eye out on the wave impacts map just to see where those little ripples are. And the flatter it is, the tougher it is. So we're gonna stay in that wind. And also tomorrow, probably during practice, I'm gonna go up the river and fish some of that stained water, looking at that water clarity map. So again, not a great day, but definitely a start. And catching a 5-pounder this morning got my wheels turning. So you guys have fun with Kyle Patrick and Jordan Lee. I'm gonna put it on the trailer.
If they're bass, literally I'm starting here 1 jillion per ton. Yeah, that's what I thought. You sit down, striper. Dude, I'm not having it. Dude, this is the most insane herring spawn I've ever seen. Look at them. Oh my God. Deep dive brought me to this point. I mean, those can't all be bad. Oh yeah, there they are. Oh my God. They're tiny though. She may. I mean, not the biggest bass, but Oh my God, they are loaded on this point, buddy. Let me just tell you right now. Dude, that bass tried to eat. Slow morning for me. I think what I'm gonna do is switch up to a crankbait and find windblown points. Now, super easy to find windblown points with the deep dive app, because there's some points that without the deep dive app, you wouldn't really think gets hit with wind on this lake, just because there's so many little crevices and islands and things like that. So I tied this 1.5 on from Strike King, and I am going to go find some windblown points. Stay tuned. Such a big one, dude. It's so hard to catch these, dude. Yeah, I know. You're mad. I get it. I'm right there with you. Because you and your friends are not cooperating. Come here. Here. Can you take a picture?
Yeah.
Give me 5 of those, Lord have mercy, bass gods. 5 of those and I would be kicking ass. Three and 3/4 all day. Kyle, you hungry, dude? You gonna bite? All right. You did not put a worm in there. You got me. Get your own nutter butter. Low-key, I actually don't have a bad bag today. Like, if you think about it, think about this, okay? I have this one, the 4-pounder. I have 18, 19 pounds today. But it just feels so miserable. That's my whole tournament. I'm gonna have nothing else on the deck, I swear to God. 3 pink worms, 3 flukes.
We're out here on Lake Murray. I believe this is 4th or 5th Elite. It's hard to keep up, but you know, this lake it's different than the past. You know, a lot of times when we come here, you got a lot of fish on these points. The heron, you know, are spawning. You got some schooling fish activity, but I haven't really seen as much of that as I wanted to. The fish are kind of in a transition right now where a lot of fish are garden fry. They're kind of in that post-spawn, I'd say, funk. But it's a huge lake. You know, there's different sections of this lake. Things I'm gonna try to pay attention to. Really big on this lake is weather. You know, how these fish kind of act. Even if you do find them on a point, let's say there's 5 or 10 fish up there, which I would consider that a good point. You may not catch them there, you know, every time you pull up, or it may just be a certain timing deal. And the weather's going to play a bigger role, I feel like, in this tournament. You know, it's been kind of calm the last couple days. We go down here on the Deep Dive app. You can see basically everything on the app. You know, the weather is going to play a huge factor. You know, the first day of the tournament is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little cloudy, a little rainy, a little windy. It's been slick, calm, and sunny. So that's one thing to keep in mind. They got the feeding windows, which I believe, you know, like early in the morning, like right now, is a great window while we're sitting here talking, breaking down the lake is a great window because that low light. So that's something, you know, that I'm going to be keeping in mind, really. The water clarity, it's gin clear, basically all over. But when you go up the river just a little ways, it's just a slight stain, and that could be like some type of algae, or because there hadn't been any rain. So that's how the lake's setting up. It's kind of, they're in here. I mean, don't get me wrong, Lake Murray is full of bass, but there's a lot of factors to take into, fishing pressure too. That's something that people don't talk about a lot. But the fishing pressure on this lake is tremendous, and the water clarity. So that's something, we're just going to be keeping in mind. Weather, though, big deal out here. And you can see up the lake a little bit, up in this river, you do have some stained water. So I may just try to do something completely different. And we may run way up and get in a little bit dirtier water and see if the fishing gets any easier. So there's not much out here, but we may send it.
Alright, so this point right here, it's been about 15 years ago. Me and my brother caught him here and we made this point famous. The local told me they call it a War Eagle Point because we went to Auburn. Pulled up right here in April. And me and my brother, we caught him pretty good. We were in I think we were in first. We were leading the deal until the last day and we finished second. Slinging a drop shot up here, but yeah, this point is named after me and my brother, War Eagle Point. What I heard.
Big. Oh, there's a bunch with them. I say there's a bunch with them. There's 4 or 5 there. First one. Not a big one. But there's a 5. Bunch of them there. Not the size, but a quick bite. Probably gonna fish up here just to try to find something a little easier. God, there's a wad of them right there. From the ramp down, it's just there's grass, and the bottom is just like really slimy. It's hard to throw like a Carolina rig or anything like that if they're not biting like stuff on top. Fry garter. Seems like every fish in the lake is garden fry. I've been throwing this new Lab Series worm. Got a little maximum in it. I don't want to catch them all, but at the same time, you kind of got to know if they bite in certain places. Imagine trying to catch a big one off dead and you hear that. I'll probably just leave. Freaking geese flying, chainsaws. I'm fixing to lose it. Fixing to go Kyle Patrick on them. Maybe garden some fry. Decided to just come back in the creek. I know it's not the ticket, but I'm just trying something kind of completely different from what I've been doing. I know I'm not the only one. Super clear water. You know, it's that kind of weird post spawn. They're not really on the points. That's kind of what I've been doing, and they're not really bedding. There's a ton of fish garden fry. I mean, more than I've ever seen. Problem is, those are a lot of times the males, and they're hard to catch too. But definitely not the juice.
Day number 3 at Lake Murray. You know, I said it this morning, but this lake is a really good lake. There's a ton of bass in here, all largemouth. But the conditions we have, for me, it's just been less than favorable. I mean, the points haven't been working great. There are some fish on the points. It's just not a lot. There's a ton of fish garden fry, and then I don't know what else is going on because I feel like I kind of missed it so far in practice. I mean, the best thing I saw was the points where there were some schools of fish, but the problem is there just wasn't many places. Last time we were here, there was a ton of places that fish were on, boats were on all of them. I think the fish are still in that kind of shallow funk, you know, but it's a big lake and a ton of big ones in it. Like somebody I feel like in this tournament's really gonna crack the code. They always do, and probably blow it out because there's just a lot of water. It's not great. I mean, I feel like early, you know, your first couple stops are gonna be kind of key for me. If I, you know, get a good boat number at that one place where I jumped a good one off, one good point that has a bunch of fish on it. And other than that, man, it's just been a slow grind. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I mean, I found a couple on the beds that I shook off that would bite. I just got a couple hours left in practice and just gonna have to piece this one together. I'm kind of scratching my head, and that happens a lot. I mean, you go to these lakes, you don't really know what to expect. So yeah, it's a different Lake Murray, but they're swimming around.